Hey everyone, it's Rob from Hypop and welcome back to another video. In this one, I've got a cool piece of kit here. This is the Falcam Move. So I've got with me a demo unit here of a new piece of kit. This is the Falcam Move. So you can see the Falcam brand there, and that's the Move unit here. So what is this piece of kit here? This essentially is a mount for a light that allows you to mechanically control the positioning of that light fixture. It's actually a Bowens-mount, so you can see it mounts to the Bowens-mount of a light fixture, and then there's a pass-through mount on the other side here, so that allows you to mount a lighting modifier such as a softbox, barn door, or any other modifier for that matter. On the side here, you can have a look at some of the photo essentially of the unit itself. Let's take a look at what's included. So on the inside here, we have the Move unit itself. So you can see the form factor there of this piece of kit. Essentially, there's a motor inside here that allows you to control the positioning of the light. There's a stand mount here. There's that Bowens receiver, and that's the receiver there, and that's the actual Bowens mount. You also have some screws to tighten this fixture here, and you have the ability to tighten these up here on the sides. That's for additional safety and security, and they do provide some spares in the box that you can see here. So there's some screws that have a flathead pin there, and you've also got the replacement screws as well. We have a remote control, and this is a remote control that you can connect to the unit, as well as the remote control cable. We've got a power adapter here. This is a 20 volt power adapter, and the user guide, of course. And you've got another box in here. Now this box is the AC, and what the AC is essentially is a plug here that you can pass through, power the unit, power the light unit itself, but also power the Falcam Move 2 at the same time, which is great. So you can see there's a splitter cable here, so you'd be able to say power the light unit, pass through that power to the wall, and then also power the AC for the Falcam Move. There's the power cable, and there's also USB Type-C. Now, the great thing about this unit here is that there's actually two USB Type-C connections here at the back. One is for the remote control and the other is for power. You also have some mounting points. So there's a 1/4 inch thread receiver there on that side and also on the other side. And this will just go onto your standard light stand fixtures, the 5/8 inch spigot. So this will go on a standard light stand or a C stand. So I've got the Falcam Move here set up on a stand just on its own currently, just to show the setup. Why would you be using something like the Falcam Move? There'll be a few different scenarios as to why you'd be using this. Firstly, if you're using the light fixture as sort of an effects light or a lighting source and you want to create some movement with the light, this would be a great way to do that. The remote control actually has 4 different presets, A, B, C, and D, that you can set to different positions and save that to those presets. So if you're wanting to create some motion with the light, you can do this with the Falcam Move, whereas previously you'd probably need someone there like a lighting person or a gaffer to make the movements there with the light source. Secondly would be if you have the light source up high and you need to create that movement to change the position, not necessarily create movement with the light, but change the positioning of the light fixture. Perhaps point it in a different direction. If this is up on a boom stand or it's up quite high, to be less obtrusive, you'd likely be able to use a Falcam Move just like this and reposition the light much easier. Now there is another version of the remote. This one here is actually a cabled version. I have seen the ones that are a wireless version that give you quite a lot of range to make those movements, and that's wireless, and you have the wireless receiver plugged into the unit. I believe that's called the Falcam Move Go. So that one there is quite unique because you're able to control that at a distance. I think there's a line of sight about 50 meters or so. So that's also something to consider if you need the ability to move that wirelessly. Whereas here you have a relatively long cable here to connect up to the remote control. And another instance you'd be using this is obviously if you're on a set and you perhaps just a solo shooter, and you need to make adjustments as a solo shooter, whether that's for video or photo content if you're using this with certain lights. So those are all the instances you'd probably consider the Falcam Move. Now, to use this unit, simply connect the USB Type-C cable to the remote control, just like that. It's on the bottom part of the remote control. There's also a pass-through for the wire, so it doesn't sort of get in the way, and the wire is coming from the top, so that's probably a better position there for it. And the other end goes into the back of the unit here on the right side where it has the remote icon. So that's the remote control connected. Now you have the AC unit that is provided, and you can plug that in with the kettle cord or the IEC cable. But the advantage here is that you can actually plug this in via USB Type-C. So that AC cable is usually a USB Type-C powered device. This one here will just go a USB Type-C to the back and then straight into a AC adapter. Now you can see once that's plugged in, you have a green light here indicating that that's all functional, and you can test this by simply using the joystick to control the movement, and you can see I'm doing that right now, which is kind of cool. Now, while you're controlling this with the remote and also with presets, you need to be mindful of the cable arrangement here, because it's quite common for you to perhaps use the range and move the unit, and it actually gets tangled along the light stand. So you need to be mindful of that. Now, the great thing about this unit is you have a total of 450 degrees panning, and you also have 180 degrees of tilt for this fixture, which is great, which means that, for example, if you're just wanting to have the light pointing at your subject and then perhaps bouncing on the ceiling, you're able to do that with a preset here or just by using it with the control. So I have a unit here. This is a light fixture. This is the Zhiyun Molus B300, and it's a 300 watt light, and you can see it's quite compact for the output, but it's still quite a sturdy and heavy unit. All you need to do to mount this is simply put this into the Bowens receiver here. Make sure that clicks into place. And there you go, you've got the light fixture placed in, and with the remote control, you can still control that safely and securely, just like that. And you can do the tilt, just like so. I've just got this on a standard light stand, so having this on a heavier duty stand like a C stand would likely be more ideal, so you need to be mindful of that. Now, I have seen larger light fixtures mounted to the Falcam Move, including the Aperture LS600, so that's quite a large light fixture, double the output of this light here. The Falcam Move is rated to weigh a capacity of 6 kilos, a max load, so that's quite a lot there. And you have the ability to control this in 3 different ways. You've got the wired remote control, you've got the wireless one as mentioned, that has about a 30-meter range, and you also have the app, which you can control via Bluetooth, which has a 10-meter range. So really useful for solo creators, people that are just wanting to control their light fixtures in another degree. Now, what I've done is just to show you a use case on where you would be using the Falcam Move. I've mounted this to my main key light here just off to the side, and what you can see is I'm a solo creator here. I'm able to reposition the light source as needed. I've got a softbox on here and it's my usual light, but now I have the ability to reposition and move the light as needed. So you can see I'm panning it currently. You can tilt the light so you can move it up and down. You obviously need to be mindful of the space around. So if you have lower ceilings, you can take account for that. But just the ability to reposition the light source just like that is really handy to have. So that was our quick overview of the Falcam Move. For more videos just like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be updated of any new content we release. Leave a like on the video if it's helped you. Feel free to leave down in the comments section below your thoughts, or if you have any questions about the Falcam Move. Follow us on socials, the links are down below, and visit our website, hypop.com.au. Thanks for watching.